Cultural comparisons, number 2. We looked at 6 of the cultural comparisons between Native people and non-Native people. So we want to continue that. And this part is real hard for a lot of people to grasp because the concepts are different. Native people are present-oriented, the here and now. And that's why when you talk about things in the future, it's not relevant for them. We can't grasp it in our mind about the future when we're concerned about the present. If we have family, friends, songs, relatives, if we're safe, we're healthy, we have enough money to pay our bills, now we're content. And that's the reason why it's so difficult in working with finances with Native people. And it's difficult for non-Native people to understand because they are futuristic oriented and they can think of the future for their savings. When with Native people is I have my needs met, I have a full tummy, I have a good night of sleep, I have a good day, I have my family's here, I've got songs in my heart. Tomorrow will take care of itself, so my cousin needs help, so I'm going to help him. And so that's part of the virtues and values that Native people have. They want to care for others and they want to share. And a lot of times in working with finances with Native people, it's very difficult to break that orientation and the thought process of present orientation to be futuristic orientation. Non-Native people are very future oriented, and that's why it's so easy for a lot of churches and pastors to preach about heaven and the big powwow council in the sky and all those good things. But to the Native people, what about right now? You know, I'm hurting in my heart, I'm hurting in my cognitive processing, I'm hurting in my body, I'm cold, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I'm naked. What about now? And don't talk to me about in the future. I may not live for the future. So that is a real difference. A cultural comparison is future orientation and Native people is present orientation. The next idea is that of giving and sharing. Native people really give. I mean, they give the shirt off their back and they share. They share what little they have, what little resources they have. Anytime you're working with Native people, you find that they may not have much of the world's goods, but they do share, and they're liberal givers. I had my sister over for the weekend and my niece from Minneapolis, and my wife was in the house picking up all the priceless treasures that she has saved and somebody gave her or she purchased, and she was giving it to my sister. And I just looked at my wife and I thought, maybe I was getting more non-Native oriented, but I was thinking, hang on to that. We might need that in the future. But that giving and that sharing. So my culture has really affected my wife, who's Mohawk and English, a lot. With the non-Native, it's taking, accumulating, hoarding, and of saving. That's because they're future oriented. I don't use it now. I may not need it now, but I may need it. They always say, Benjamin Franklin said, a stitch in time saves 9. Here I'm a 60-year-old man, but I finally realized what he meant. Our boys, we got a trampoline for our boys, and my youngest boy put a hole through the trampoline. And so I thought, all it'll take is a few stitches to save that. It's about ½ an inch gap. All it would take is a few stitches now. Well, I didn't do it a stitch in time. And so about 3 weeks later, there's a 9-inch or 6 or 9-inch gap now. So if I would have taken that time to make the stitch then, I wouldn't have had the 9 stitches that I do now. And so it's hard, it's difficult. So it's very difficult to get people to save for the future or taking and accumulating for themselves. With Native people, it's giving and sharing. Native people are very patient people. I've been involved in a number of situations where we had groups where every one of them had things that they had to say. Made their comments. I'm able to sit there and listen. But with non-native people, they're very aggressive. They want to respond. They want to answer. They want to reason. They want to rationalize. And so that's a cultural comparison. With native people, they have excellent listening skills. That's one thing my grandfather taught me, is listen. Listen to the wind. Listen to Mother Earth. Listen to nature. You will learn. Listen to the elders. Listen to the babies. Listen to the animals. I mean, you learn to listen and you develop these listening skills. And then with non-native people, it's verbal skills. They put emphasis on talking. All the verbal skills. Express yourself verbally. They always say, there's no healing unless there's revealing. In other words, talk about it. Number 11 is religion is a way of life. It's a belief system that's a total way of life for Native Americans. Their whole life. You've heard people say it repeatedly. People who are fundamental Christians, they do that on Sundays. And you hear people say, I'm Lakota and my way of life is every day. So that's what they mean. Religion, or a belief, I like the word belief system. A belief system is a way of life. Every day. That's the way we do those things, because we have a belief system. And the non-natives, the belief system is a segmented part of life. Now, remember what I said about your own preconceived notions? And I'm already making some judgmental statements, some ethnocentric statements, by saying that the non-natives are all segmented in their belief system. It's not true. Because the person who really walks with Creator, their life is not segmented. They don't do it only on Sundays. They do it every day of their life, just like with the Lakota people. Modesty. You'll find that Native people are very modest. You go to a swimming pool, and people are very modest. I mean, they wear a T-shirt over their long baggy shorts. And you have non-natives walking around in bikinis. So there's a lot of self-attention. So with Native people, it's modesty. Non-native, self-attention. Native people, work is limited to meeting the immediate needs of the family. If they're hungry today, go out and work and feed them, and you're okay. Work is, with the non-native, work is focused, getting ahead or getting rich. Always saving time. And then the last thing is harmony with nature. Native people believe in harmony, balance, beauty. Non-native people, you find there's a big tendency to dominate, have mastery over nature. We try to exist with nature, and they dominate nature. And when you have that coexistence, interrelatedness of all things, and you have a dominant society, paternalism comes in. So those are some of the things that you will see, you will notice as far as the values and the beliefs and the history between the misunderstanding between Native people and non-Native.